Shaun King, the man who treats the truth like it's a disease that you'll catch if you stare too long at it.
I got you. Yeah, I will defend my brothers. I will defend the weak. I will pursue and fight evil so others may sleep. I am the sheepdog, protecting the night. Wolf hunters unite. Bring it on. It's time to fight.
Despite the fact that Shaun King has blocked me on Twitter ages ago for calling him out on his nonsense, his tweets still circulate the internet, and one caught my attention this morning on Donut Operator's Twitter feed. Let's take a look. Oh my God. Police taser an unarmed, non-violent black man who is not even wanted for a crime. Caps. While he is holding his infant baby. This is right outside of Detroit in Westland City. A caller called 911 saying people were loud. The caller was nowhere to be found when police came. Shocking that Shaun King knows all these details without being there. That's weird. When we look at what the report is, we get some different information. On August 17th, Westland police officers were dispatched to an address on Alberta Court in Westland on a report that a male subject had physically assaulted a female and that he had damaged her vehicle. Westland police officers made contact with the man involved in the incident. It was determined that the man was going to be arrested for the assault, the damaged property, and also for a number of outstanding arrest warrants. Once the man learned that he was going to be arrested, he grabbed the child from the mother's arm and held the child tightly. The man refused to release the child back to the mother, who was also asking for the child back. Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. This isn't the first time, Mr. King, that you have lied about the police. Do you remember a little story about Sharita Dixon Cole? Mm-hmm. Watch Donut Operator's video on that after you watch mine, of course. But hey, why tell the truth about this stuff when you can just delete the tweet that you made and pretend it never happened?
Well, isn't that special?
You know what would be special, Mr. King, is if you wanted to truly be a social activist, you might want to start by doing something that's, not a lie. Moving on to other headlines that caught my attention, distorting the facts. GQ tosses out a headline about a man being arrested while he quote-unquote rushed his wife to the hospital to give birth. Only problem is that he was in such a rush that he was stopped at a gas station where his pregnant wife was walking around inside, and by on the way to deliver a baby, it wasn't like she was having a baby in the back seat.
How fast you going now?
I don't care, I'm having a baby!
105 miles an hour, you believe that?
No, it was a scheduled C-section. Take a look at how many of the news outlets reported this story. The Washington Post. ICE arrested a man driving his pregnant wife to give birth. She drove herself to the hospital. The Sacramento Bee. They were on their way to the hospital to have a baby when ICE took him away. CBS News. ICE detains man driving pregnant wife to hospital to deliver baby. Time. ICE agents detained a man driving his pregnant wife to the hospital. New York Mag. ICE arrests husband who is taking wife to give birth at hospital. Newsweek. ICE agents, they get political here, part of a Trump crackdown. Detain husband driving pregnant wife to deliver baby. Why would they do this? Well, I guess it has more shock value than simply saying, police do their job and arrest a suspected murderer. Shocking, I know. But I will give credit where credit is due, because NBC News actually did include that he was a murder suspect in their headline, even though they would go on to mildly take some leeway later on in the article. Said article did include a quote from the wife of Arona Lara, which said, "I never thought that they would take him like that, handcuff him, and that they would leave me stranded at the gas station." When a murder suspect is arrested, handcuffs would seem to be the next logical step. Here's a novel idea. Don't be an illegal immigrant who comes here as a murder suspect and expect to be given preferential treatment. Maybe that's just me. Being surprised that someone who's getting arrested goes into handcuff is like putting water in the freezer and being shocked that 6 hours later it comes out as magic ice. See what I did there? Being shocked that someone goes into handcuffs when they get arrested for being a suspected murderer, that's like being surprised that Shaun King lies in tweets. See what I did there? Lastly, today I will cover a story out of Raleigh, North Carolina, where the police encountered a shirtless man in the middle of the road. I actually don't know why, but it turned out to also be a situation where you get one part of the story from the media and the real story from, I don't know, looking at things objectively. Many news sources are only showing one part of the video, which is the tail end, where all of the officers are on top of this man and they're still trying to subdue him into custody while he's actually biting people. However, the full video from a different angle that you're looking at now shows that this man, who was mentally unstable and impervious to apparently 50,000 volts and batons, was hell-bent on charging at the officers and punching them. A witness at the scene said that she saw officers use a taser on the man at least once as they struggled to restrain him, and that they were hitting him as hard as they possibly could, and he didn't seem even fazed by it. He just kept going. He was swinging at them. It was everything they could do to get him down on the ground. Of course, Hall's mother sees this differently. She says, "It broke my heart. I see them beating him in the back with a billy stick and kicking him in the face and holding his hand down and beating him and stomping his hand and treating him like he is inhuman, and it is not fair." Ma'am, I'm sure it's uncomfortable to see your son arrested like that, but if you want to be treated like a human, then you probably shouldn't bite people in their legs like an animal or charge at them and punch them and try to harm them. Who's that fair to? Moral of the story in all of these cases, please pay attention. The headlines are designed to distract you and to further an agenda about perception, because that's what drives advertising revenue. Look for yourself, learn for yourself. That wraps up today's videos. I'm assuming there's going to be some really interesting comments, so I'll see you out there.